All right, everyone, welcome to ServiceLoop. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Our topic is Tech Life Made Easy and How Balancing Ease with Efficiency. Our guest today is Jeremy Scholl. Jeremy, if you could give a background on your current role and or previous roles.
Great. Thanks for having me, Kat. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about what really is such an important subject. But for starters, my current role is I'm Vice President of Central Operations for our in-home services team at Dish Network, which is an EchoStar company. My responsibilities really are all about all the support and enablement functions for our technicians in the field. So it really does come down to how do we help them and help make their job easier. In total, at Dish Network, I've been with the company for almost 22 years. The first 18 with our sales organization before I moved over to our in-home service team a few years ago.
Yeah. And I think that's nice that you have like both scopes of things. So the tech side, but the sales side. How would you say they kind of mesh together, or that background has helped you with technicians and understanding their world?
Yeah, I think the more varied experience you can have, it really helps you understand the overall business a little bit better.
Right.
So the more you understand the business, all the inner workings of it, that really, I think, helps you to work on your current role and make a bigger impact. So always nice to have varied background and be able to understand different pieces of the puzzle.
Absolutely. What are some common challenges Dish has faced when trying to make the day-to-day for techs easier?
Well, a couple of challenges that I think a lot of service organizations we have. First is you
Mhm.
have varied tenure of your team.
Right.
You always have some very new team members. You have some that have tremendous tenure and have maybe been here 15, 20 years. And the types of help they need is really different. So our new technicians, they're often looking for step-by-step instructions on how to do
Yes.
something to help them along the way. Whereas our tenured technicians, they're often looking for detail. They really
Mhm.
need to get into some really specifics. So it's how do you help them and in both of those environments, knowing that just like every other service organization, they're geographically dispersed. They're out with our customers. So they're
Right.
there to help all of our customers. And how do you bridge that gap to help them where they are?
Absolutely. And that's key, right? I think especially in tech with technicians, like you said, you got those greener technicians, you have the technicians that are more experienced. How are you bridging not just that gap with them like geographically, but the knowledge as well? How are you grabbing that knowledge from the more senior techs? How are you providing that to the greener techs, bridging that gap? So as we know, everybody's been talking about it the past year, 2 years, AI, right?
Correct.
So how are you guys implementing AI for technicians?
So right now we're currently scaling a pilot that is generative AI, and it really is there to help answer our technicians' questions and really reach into our knowledge base to be able to provide them the information they're looking for. It's early on, but
Yeah.
so far proving it's saving time, it's improving quality in the field. Um, we are excited. We still have work to do. Like I
Mhm.
said, still scaling, but the feedback from our technicians have been very positive so far, and they've been very engaged in the process. So we've seen a great partnership with all of our field technicians in terms of as we're launching and growing this tool and making it better every day.
I love that. Have you noticed with the greener techs or the more senior techs, have you noticed any pushback with utilizing it? Or is it just kind of everybody overall is participating?
Yeah. And I think you do see different levels of participation. Some use it a lot, some use it a little bit less. But I think the thing that's been really exciting is there really hasn't been a lot of pushback.
Oh,
There's
nice.
been a lot of excitement. I think we've talked a lot about it and hopefully made it exciting and made it really interesting. But you're finding out as some technicians get to use it, others find out that they're not part of the pilot yet, and they kind of like, how do I get involved in this?
Yeah, yeah.
It
I
sounds
love that.
really interesting. I'd love the chance to get involved as well.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. I think yeah, if I were a technician too, and I didn't know I was like not part of this AI like new tool, I'd also want to get in on it. So understandable. Beyond AI, what are some other methods or processes you've incorporated to make things easier for techs as well?
Well, it's been a busy year. So we've implemented a number of different things in addition to AI. First of which is we've implemented shipping centers that are strategically located around the country, and really what they're targeted is with our remote-based technicians. And those shipping centers are shipping all of the equipment and material they need directly to them, and it's reducing the time that they need to spend driving, coming into a
Oh,
hub to pick up material. And
yeah,
really, the nice thing is it's reducing unproductive time and putting their time directly where it should be with our customers. So
right.
instead of having to drive in and spend half a day or a day to go pick up the equipment they need, it's delivered directly to them. They can now go spend closer to 100% of their time with our customers and taking care of their needs.
Wow. And is that something you guys just implemented this year, or has that been something in the works over the past few years?
It's something that we did some testing on late last year, but really it
Mhm.
has been a project throughout this year. And it's been a bit of a ramp, but we are now fully launched and seeing
Wow.
great success with it.
Oh, that's awesome. So now with the AI and then also having this ship direct, yeah, it's definitely making the technicians less time traveling, less time going back and forth. That's amazing. I'm sure. Do you guys have anything, any surveys or feedback loop from your technicians that is letting you guys know how these new systems are helping them?
Yeah, we use a couple different tactics. One is first is just one-on-one discussions. So we will sit down one-on-one with our technicians, uh, ask them how it's working, what's not working, how can we change that, what their recommendations are. That's been really helpful with the AI tool. But we'll also sit down in some smaller roundtables so they get a chance to interact with their teammates. And then, of course, on the AI tool, we have a rating. So every
Mhm.
single response they get, they can rate, and then they can tell us if it wasn't as high as they think it should be in terms of a rating, how where the piece was that we fell short. So we know to go target that answer and understand how we can make it better.
Awesome. That's really good. I like that. Especially, I think a lot of companies, you try so many different methods and tools. And if you don't have that feedback loop, you don't know. You don't know how it's processing and integrating with the technicians. So having that feedback loop is very important. With the new tools and methods, how are you measuring like the impact for both the technicians and customers? Like, what are you guys utilizing? Is it a chart? Is it percentages? How are you guys measuring that?
But I think the first thing is on the technician side, it's listening. It's talking to our technicians and hearing directly from them. It's you're not going to make progress if they're not seeing benefit in their tool, if they're not seeing the interaction with us.
Mhm.
Beyond that, of course, we do have our typical KPIs, things like that measure productivity, the time that's on site in order to solve a problem, as well as repeat truck rolls. So we're measuring, are we solving things on either a new installation or on a repair? Are we taking care of the problem the first time?
Yeah.
Um, on the customer side, it's really about customer experience. So we use our customer satisfaction measures, net promoter score, because no matter how much work we're putting in to make things easier for our technicians, be more efficient, it really has to come back to the customer experience and are they seeing a
Yeah,
better product out of it?
absolutely. And with that, what trends do you feel will further enhance, the ease and efficiency for technicians? What do you see upcoming? Is there anything that you've caught wind of or internally that you guys are kind of processing?
Yeah, I don't think it's a new trend. It's just something we need to keep getting better at is we need to be better listeners with our technicians and our field
Yeah,
teams. We need to really sit down with them to understand what are their needs and how can we meet them.
right.
It's always great to come up with this new product, but if you haven't started it with the base of how does our field team need help, then it's not going to solve their problem, and it's not it won't be something that you get buy-in or that you'll see a good result from. So it really is back to basic and listening to our team.
Yes. Yes. I think that's good too, because if you don't start with the pain of what actually the technicians are doing, what they're actually going through, and you're just like, oh, I think this will solve this. Like, you don't really know unless you actually have a sit down conversation and say, hey, what are your pains? And then solving, right? Versus just trying to throw a bunch of tools at them.
Right.
So I love that. What would you say is on the horizon for Dish? Is there anything new? You mentioned this new AI pilot that you guys are doing. Is there any other things that you guys plan on implementing to help technicians?
I think it's as far as artificial intelligence, I believe we're in the very beginning. How can we leverage the pilot that we have going right now to really look at other parts of the business to provide our technicians with more information? I think one of the things that we can do a lot better at, and AI can help us, is providing our technicians with, here's a summary of everything that has gone on with this customer. What has been a problem that had to be overcome? Is there something that they have had feedback on? And giving them the key information before they go in to a job site or a visit so that they can go in and be better prepared. I think that's a big area that we can do better. And again, AI is going to really help us as we continue down that path.
Yeah, especially for greener techs, right? So technicians that aren't too familiar with their area, they're just starting out, it will provide that confidence that they need before arriving on site and kind of having that synopsis of what's going on.
Right.
So it'll definitely make them more confident. So Jeremy, it's been a pleasure having you on here. What advice would you give to other leaders that are hesitant in incorporating or making the tech stay easier?
I think the biggest thing is to understand that helping our technicians' jobs be smoother and easier goes hand in hand with efficiency. When you remove wasted time on paperwork or non-productive driving or time when they're not with customers, any frustrations in finding the right information that they need, it helps our technicians be more efficient and helps their jobs be easier. And then it comes back to the customer has a better experience because we're there quicker, we complete a fix quicker or an installation quicker. And really, again, customer experience is where it comes back to. So I think that's the great thing, is that any kind of projects that you put in like this, they go hand in hand with multiple benefits throughout the organization.
I love that. Well, Jeremy, thank you again so much for being on ServiceLoop. I really loved what you shared. I think it's going to help a lot of other leaders. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been great getting a chance to chat today.
Thank you.